Alright, what's up guys? Welcome to a Mossology video, and in today's video I wanted to talk on the feature actually with the iPhones. This is the iPhone 11 and I've had it since, well, almost last year. Today is New Year's Eve and yeah, by the time y'all might see this video, it might be later on. It might be the same day, I don't know. But anyways, so I got this phone last year or beginning of this year, and I liked it. Honestly, I loved it. I was like, I hadn't had an iPhone in a while. I think the last I hadn't had an iPhone, like I think it was maybe the couple of years prior, because I had the Galaxy S8 for the longest, and so I think I got the Galaxy S8 in 2018. I can't remember exactly when, but the last time I had me an iPhone was the iPhone 6, and so I had that for a little bit. Enjoyed it, liked it. Was using it for pretty much like work and everything else. Sometimes YouTube. And yeah, then eventually I went over to the Galaxy S8, had that for a little bit, and then I went back to iPhones. And so I miss iPhones because to me they were like much more simple phones, but I would rather go through the difficulties of learning whatever new things I need to learn from a Galaxy phone. Because the next phone I plan on getting is a Google Pixel 5. And T-Mobile doesn't have the Google Pixel 5. They have the Google Pixel 4a. And I'm like, I don't want to be with T-Mobile no more because they are neck and neck with Sprint when you're trying to get like a better just, connection with your phone and stuff when you're like overall. So there would be times I'm just sitting in my room, right? If I were to turn my Wi-Fi off, just everything would just be tremendously slow. And it's supposed to be running at 4G LTE. And as I remember 4G LTE on any other phone that I had was fast. It was faster. But it was probably because I was with AT&T. And I feel like with T-Mobile, like, no comparison when it comes to AT&T. And I remember when I had 5G on the Galaxy S8, and it was fast. And, I didn't have no problems, and so I didn't mind I didn't mind not using my Wi-Fi. But with here, I was like, nah, it just runs at a tremendously slow rate. But that's not what I wanted to talk on. What I wanted to talk on was this new feature that they came out with at some point in time with one of these updates, where the iPhone would just randomly turn down your music. So I'll be sitting here listening to my music at the highest volume because that's how you have to listen to music. You can't listen to it on a medium sized volume or something unless you're in a car or it's playing on some stereos or something with your headphones. Your headphones is like, that's what I feel like headphones are for. You're supposed to listen to your music at the highest volume. So that's how I've been listening to my music for years. Years. Ever since I can remember, I've always listened to my music at the highest volumes. For Apple to come out with an update where it turns your music down, it'll be at random times. I'll be in the middle. So I play a lot of video games, and I'll be in the middle of a video game. And with some games, you can't just pause, turn the music back up. There's at times where I'm sitting here having to like multitask, run around and stuff, make sure I don't get shot and killed by nobody. And I'm like trying to turn my headphones up and things. I'm like, why would they come out with a feature like that? That just doesn't make any sense to me. And now on top of that, they're trying to come out with a car. Imagine if they're all like Apple, they do come out with a self-driving or whatever type of car they want to come out with, and they're like, oh, you're driving too fast, we're gonna blow the whole car up. It's either you gotta slow down or the car is gonna blow up. Or to make it a little bit more realistic, they just do an automatic slowdown. So you're rushing somewhere, right? Let's say if you're a guy or a girl, whichever. I don't, today everything is going on. But let's say that you're driving your significant other to the hospital because they're getting ready to give birth. And then you're driving like at high speeds because you're like, yo, you don't want them to give birth in the middle of your car. So you're driving at high speeds trying to get to the hospital. And they're all like, oh, we're going to slow down your car to 30 miles per hour when you were just doubled the speed and stuff because there's a medical emergency. Or it could be any other medical emergency besides giving birth and things. But I'm saying it's stuff like that where I'm like, why? Like, I don't understand why you would come out with a feature where it turns down your music. Like, on purpose. And then the upsetting part about it is that you can't even turn the feature off. So Apple has it set up to where you can either, so it already has like a reduced sound thing for you, or you just leave it. Like, you just have to pretty much just accept the fact that at random times your music is going to shut down. I don't understand that. I do not understand that at all. I'm like, that's some type of stuff where I'm like, I don't even want the phone no more. Literally, anybody can take this phone. I will give you the phone for free because I don't want this phone no more. To me, that's just a really dumb feature. I've never heard of something like that before. That's when you're really just trying to be petty towards your customers. That's something I've never heard of. And I will hope and pray and like to think that they would get rid of that feature, because I'm like, nobody is not liking that. Nobody. It's like you can't even change the time of when it turns off. You can't change you can't do nothing. You will be listening to your music. It's happened today, happened yesterday, it happens like any given point in time where I'm listening to music for a long period of time, it will just randomly turn my music down. And I'm like, nah, man, you guys got to turn that feature off. Y'all got to turn that feature off now. Because I can't concentrate. I can't think straight when knowing, like, that's how, I'm like, you're building up that paranoia of a person when they're just minding their own business. And then they're all like, oh, my iPhone, my music might turn down. Like, let me hurry up and just, make sure I ain't doing nothing. And then when I'm like, okay, it hasn't done it, in the middle of a video game or in the middle of just, doing something, that's when the music decides to turn down. I'm like, man, there'd be times I'm outside exercising, music would just turn down. I'm like, you guys cannot do stuff like, you've never done that with any other iPhone, with any other iPod, iPad, MacBook Pro, nothing. You guys all of a sudden decide now is the perfect time in the middle of this crazy just year, we're going to just turn down people's music. Does that make any sense? I don't like that feature. Maybe some people out there might like the feature. If you do, that's you. But I don't like it. At least have it where we can turn that feature off. That's all that I ask for. If other people like that feature, that is on you. I don't. And there's no way possible that a person can explain to me why I should like that feature. I don't like the fact that my music just randomly gets turned down. That's like, to just place it in other, examples in terms. Let's say if you're playing your video game for too long and then Xbox or PlayStation sends you a notification saying we're turning your game off because you've been playing it for too long. How would that make you feel? Or if it's like the car one. Or even, let me think of some other things or some. I feel like there's many examples that I can use for it. I just can't think of it because it's just upsetting when you're listening to your music and it just turns down. And then Apple thinks that it's supposed to be okay. It's not okay. Like, turn that feature off or come out with something where we can just turn it on and off. But I'm going to keep it off. Like, I don't need that feature to be on. Let me listen to my music at high volumes. If I go deaf, I go deaf. I do not care, okay? So anyways, man, like, now that rant is out of the way, but yeah, I just think that that's dumb. Like, turn that off, Apple, because we don't need that. At least I don't. Maybe other people might, but I don't. But anyways, talk to you guys later. Thank you guys for watching. Like, subscribe if you're new to the channel, and peace.